Oh. Hello, hello, hey, hey. This is okay, and my dog, my dog's barking. All right, come on, that's enough. Stop that. It's commission month over here, and it's time to get to coloring. We've got Alice and Dark Alice, and to pop or not to pop. Okay, so let's go ahead and get shading. The news happening lately is that the Kickstarter for Tales from the Crypt Keeper is ending tomorrow, Saturday, this last day to join, and we've flown past the mark to actually get it funded. So it is definitely happening. I had a pretty low bar set for that, but yeah. So Tales from the Crypt Keeper Kickstarter is wrapping up Saturday. If you want to join, that's for a physical copy of the comic. And this is June 2025, so we're working on coloring commissions. You know, this red is not right. I'm looking to get a better shade of red. There we go. There we go. That's much better. So what else is happening? I'm wrapping up the contest. You know, the deadline has come and gone, but still haven't gotten around to choosing the right stories to make Tales from Crypt Keeper 18 based on. So I'm going to try to be doing that. And, you know, I'm planning on taking a little bit of a trip this weekend, and I'd like to have those ideas so I can kind of imagine some script writing going on while I'm in the car. It's a nice time to, you know, kick back and relax and let your mind wander, imagine things, pass the time really well. All right, I'm trying to see. This arm is a little bit. I think the shading is a little too intense there. There we go. Let's kind of round out that arm. I'm listening to Fleet Foxes. If you're ever curious about what kind of music I listen to when I work, I've posted a link to the playlist I curate. I'm pretty much active on that playlist every single day. If you want a link to that, it's on my Discord server in the OK soundtrack server of the Discord server name. What is the actual server name? I think it's what is this? The OK Studio. So which it's always available to anyone who wants to join. It used to be linked to where, you know, if you bought a comic, you could automatically get added into the server if you wanted to. But that was with Gumroad, and no longer working with Gumroad, which has been a good thing, I think. You know, we got a lot of work through Gumroad, or, you know, a lot of sales, but they were getting very expensive with their percentages. I think they had successfully cornered the market and gotten everybody in at a good rate, and then they jacked up the rates. Which is definitely the new way to do things, right? Oh, yeah. The other thing I'm very excited about, I was talking to, I guess, I'll call it the Blueberry Cows on DA. We were talking about the idea of doing a bingo cards for next sketch commission month. because I got the idea when, we get so many random, unpredictable commissions and commission requests where you never know what's the next commission is going to be about. And so I made a comment like, who had that on your bingo card? I think we did like a pregnant Navi from Avatar. There's like never know what's coming next. So the idea is like an actual bingo card for sketch commission month, where you have a bingo card of different things that you could see in usual sketch months, and if someone gets bingo, we'll do something special. But it's pretty fun. It's a really fun idea. I think I'll end up probably replacing the favorite sketch poll maybe with the bingo. Maybe we'll just add it to it, but it might be too much to keep track of doing a poll and a bingo card thing. But we were kind of discussing some options for what could go in a bingo card, and they're fun. They're really fun. So as we get that rounded out, I'm sure we'll start it in September, and let's do a little bit of smoke. Let's smoke a little. I'm sure we'll start it in September. My idea, or my thought, was to do it like an introductory round kind of thing where we play test it. If you're a game tester, you just kind of do a whoever wants to participate beta testing, that kind of thing. That where we'll just try it out, and maybe something will go wrong, and who cares, because there's nothing at stake. But usually I like to try to have all the kinks worked out. All the kinks worked out. It's going to be called Kinko, like a combination of bingo and kink. No, plinko and bingo combined. So, but it'll be bingo. So yeah, if that sounds fun to you, that'll be in September. September 1st is the next commission openings. That's when September is the next month for commissions. And I got some espresso while I was waiting on an oil change. I feel espressoized. I feel espressed. I'm wondering where the light source is. I guess we should do a upside down light source. So we would do like a dark Alice. We'd do darkness up here. We kind of do a two light sources. So what happens here? Her nose will be darkened. We get a light nose here. This Alice is like in the style of Disney. I tend to go a little bit more intense and get a little more involved than normal when I do the live streams. Okay, so we're gonna finish up her nose here. They do have their lips locked. Let's get some smoke out again. And I'm just going to use the same color to do shadows for both of they have different color skin. And that was mostly just to help differentiate when I'm selecting. So let's go ahead and do the highlights. I like to go a little bit more yellow. And we'll come in with a multiply layer later. Multiply layer later. And gonna add some. This is even too dark. I need to go brighter. We'll add some redness to her skin tones. My dog is a lot more calm right now. That was a bad intro. A lot of barking. She's a really smart dog. That's what I've got to say about her. She's a great dog. She keeps me company some days. She like pops in and pops out. She likes to pop in. Okay. And she looks like a Doberman. She's a tough girl. Okay, let's see. I think this is rounding out really well. Kind of looks like... I'm trying to remember how you make it look like she's outside to make that like light source look very like yellowy. I'm gonna try like vivid light. Let's go with yellow. Let's see what happens here. Nope, that is not how you do it. What about hard light? Hard light definitely adds some yellow. But I'm gonna come back with an eraser on this because it's way too strong. But that's what's nice about the eraser in Photoshop. This would be much more difficult to achieve if it wasn't digital. And it's a lot easier to be experimental with the digital creations. Because the undo button. You know, you use Photoshop too often when in real life you're like, undo, undo, undo. Or redo. Okay, so we're gonna mark this as the hard light layer. How about blue? Okay, so what's next? Let's come in with maybe we should do the highlights on Dark Alice now. She has what's that line from Star Wars? I feel the good in you. I feel the good in you. That man no longer exists. So we're gonna go, I guess, very yellow. I don't really know why I'm using hard light layer instead of just painting it directly on. Let's see if we can figure that out. See if we understand why we're doing that. Might be pointless. Okay, that's a really nice bright what do you call that? Light reflection highlight. Kind of add a little bit to her knuckles. Any Sonic fans out there? Okay, she's got knuckles now. Let's give her, I guess, her legs a little bit more roundness to them. There we go. And I think we kind of need to do the same thing to her cheeks down there, because they're looking a little flat. They're definitely not flat. You can see those curves, but the shading is looking flat. Okay, now let's do hair. So it's black. Let's do kind of like a warm gray. If she's outside, we're not going to see any blues. We'll be seeing warm tones. I'm going to sort of just, what's that word for block it in? Is that the word I'm looking for? Block it in. I'm going to block it out. Okay. So I'm trying to get an understanding of what we're about to what we're gonna try to do here with her hair. We've got like this spillover hair over here, and you know, with the Disney hair, it's very cushiony, pillowy. So that's the look we're going for. And a lot of commissions I tend to do like very fine hair, you know, kind of like a commercial for Pantene Pro V or something, you know, where they've definitely conditioned their hair a lot. That's just kind of my default look. Okay, so we're gonna use the color from that underwear shot there. So let's go with hair maybe. And this is where I'm going to add a highlight layer. We're just going to call this layer highlight. And I know that's spelled wrong. That's the way I like to do it. Highlight, just to show you what I'm doing here. I like doing it on a separate layer. That way I can come in and use the eraser. And I think this is actually going to end up looking a little bit like what I was saying earlier about the Pantene Pro V. Very fine. Let's kind of enlarge the brush a little bit. But I'll be able to use the eraser and just erase the highlights, and that way I can kind of get a little bit more sketchy and wild. Hair gone wild. Artist gone wild. Okay, so we're definitely getting some interesting look here. An interesting look. Now I'm going to go ahead and try doing the solid highlight. And I'm glad I did this on a separate layer, because if I wasn't able to erase this that well, it would kind of look like she's got gray hair, right? Like she's looking kind of like a granny. Nothing wrong with that, but wasn't gray hair or like white hair very stylish at some point? Is that in style? They call it platinum. Okay. So I'm gonna widen and whiten. Should probably go smaller. Okay, now I can use the eraser. What kind of eraser do we want to use? Should I go with... I'm going to go with a pretty large... I'm going to erase most of this. It's going to be very subtle. I like to use the word pop. Does it pop a lot? And at this point we're doing kernels left in the bag popcorn. Let's see what it looks like zoomed out. It's definitely shaded, so that's good. Now I'm wondering if we use hard light, if we can use like an orangey red to kind of get a little bit of color. Oh wait, I'm going on the wrong layer. And I'm using an eraser too. Whoops. Okay, so that was a mistake. Let's go with the hard light layer and the pencil brush. Let's use the oil pastel again. I like the oil pastel. And I think I'm going to go a little more orange. And I'll use the eraser on this one too. It's hard to get it right the first want it to be very light. Just kind of a, doesn't catch your eye too much. There we go. Okay, so now let's move on to good Alice, blonde Alice. Let's move on to her hair. We'll go with a little bit more orange. And let's use a real strong, a real heavy kind of shadow. The only hard thing was kind of matching her hand up to the side of her face. All right, so let's do just kind of like a very light suggestion of form, how the forms kind of connect and meet. Usually where the shadow begins is a good way to create the form. Okay, so now we'll do a highlight layer. Let's go with like super yellowy bright. And maybe we'll just, I was kind of playing around with the idea of making it like an hourglass kind of thing. A little bit of a second highlight down here. Let's see what that looks like. We'll keep this one the strong one. There we go. All right, so let's come in. What do we want to do? I think I'll use like a smoke. I really like how some rough texture remains. We should come in. Do we have a multiply layer yet? Let's use a multiply layer. All right, now let's go with slight orange and just kind of create that little fun depth you get when you sort of enhance where the shadow begins. There we go. Let me make sure I'm just be like a test 1 2 3. I'm so paranoid now. I think there was one time where I was talking to the microphone for like a good 2 hours when I was coloring the most recent comic was the Willy Wonka Epilogue 3, and I'm talking to the microphone and I end it and I realized the microphone was never connected properly. It's like you can have it on and it's just sometimes there's like that extra little button you have to check. Okay, so so we've got the blue now. We got their hair done. Let's go with maybe a slightly more greenish blue. Maybe not that much green. That looks better. Okay, and now back to blocking it in. When I was looking at references for Alice from the original movie, it kind of seemed like her dress was kind of greenish blue in a lot of pictures. I wasn't sure how that was happening, because you kind of expect that sort of thing when you're photographing something in real life where there's a yellowish light in the room. you expect there to be color variations, but when it's like a digital still or a movie still, wonder how that happens. Maybe it's been exposed to the light and it's yellowing a little bit due to age. That would be a most likely explanation, I guess. Okay. So I'm going to go with a little bit darker now, because I feel like it's a little too light. I'm not getting a good value range. I want to make her feel very spherical. I guess the shadow needs to be here. Okay, let's use smoke detail, I guess. Okay, I guess we could now move on to the highlight. The highlight reel. Time for the highlight reel. What do you call that? Like, cue it up. Now, I didn't advertise to anyone that I was doing this live stream, so I'm not even looking to see if there's chat. There might be chat, but I'll probably be just sharing this live stream later as a pre-recorded live stream. Let's go with, I kind of should have done this. It needs to be more yellow. I'm going to go with like a very low opacity and do. I'm still on this. I'm still on the actual coloring layer. So let's do something. Let's go with back to the blue. I'm going to move to the soft round, because now it's kind of coming across like I'm adding too much highlight, maybe. Oh, I'm doing low opacity, that's why. Because I'm not really seeing any change. Okay. Now I guess the only thing left to do is dark Alice's clothes. Let's go ahead and do the white. Oh, I didn't even block that in. I mean, I didn't flat color that. So, well, I think we got to do that. Maybe I can do the circle tool. Maybe that circle tool can help me out. Hey, that's pretty helpful. Okay, so let's go ahead and select that. Yeah, that was pretty quick. Okay, let's keep going. I think I can circle tool this. Get some really nice clean lines with the circle tool. It's almost like I planned that. I've never done this before. But it's working out really well. Live innovation. Okay, so let's go ahead and finish up that leg. And it's probably really boring to watch because you're seeing white get drawn on white. Okay, so we have all our white laid down. Now we can do a little bit of, should we do like yellowish? Yeah. Get that soft brush. We don't want to get the brush too hard, too fast. We want to keep it soft for a while. Big and soft. We're men of measure. Isn't that? Is men of measure still a thing? Is that still around? Okay, so I'm gonna add a little bit to this. I'm still at full opacity. I'm gonna do like what's that called? I was using this, what that was called, fabric tension lines. Is that what that? Is that what you would call it? From the last live stream, I remember I was saying like, I am a great describer of things. Sometimes it's very difficult to like make up words to describe what you're actually doing. Constantly having to make up new English word, add words to the dictionary. Getting tongue-tied. Okay, so we could come with a little bit of a, what do you call that, a reflective shadow? There we go. I think that's nice. I don't want to go too dark. You want to keep it feeling like it's white. Let's go with a little bit more. Let me kind of stretch this because that didn't. There we go. All right, now we're moving on to Dark Alice. We're almost done here. Hang on a few more minutes. We're gonna get through this. Hopefully I haven't mentally scarred anyone. Is that what they call it? Mentally scarred? Alright. I feel like it's hard to do that to people nowadays. There's so much stuff to see out there. The regulations or censorships have a tough job. Alright, her bows are done. Now for her dress. I am wondering, what should we do here? Should we do like a slight bit of gray? I think that's probably too light. We definitely want it to feel black, so I'm gonna try doing very little. I'll do a small highlight. Lately I've been getting a lot of these like pro acrylic painting videos in my feed, and I just want to say that if you haven't seen any of those and you like watching people paint stuff, those pro acrylic videos are just mesmerizing. I know they're like ads, and I'm sitting here watching ads, like, and then be like, "Ooh, feed me more." let me watch another ad. Speaking of ads, I don't think you should be having to watch ads while you watch this live stream. I'm sorry if you do. I'm not making any money from ads on this, so you shouldn't have to watch ads, but I don't know how YouTube works like that. YouTube is making money off the ads if there are any. Alright, so I'm wondering if we should just try like a black. Some oil pastel to the black. Gonna kind of draw a little more attention to this object getting pressed into the back of the skirt here. I kind of want to do like a almost like an inking. Let's see, let's get large. Let's get random, large, and in charge, black. There we go. I'm wondering if I should do any more or if, kind of thinking one more. There we go. That's good. Don't want to overdo it. Now I forgot to do her hand, so I got to come back and do her hand. And I was blocking in her hand with these lines right here. Kind of looks like I was trying to draw the knife, but it's kind of both, you know. Draw the form around the knife. So you need to know the knife. Get to know your knife. Not too well. Okay, so next let's do a little bit of shading on this and then we'll be done. Okay. Enjoying some Fleet Foxes. Oh, I forgot her tights. And I've got her stripes. They're on a different layer. I don't remember what layer I put them on. Is it this one? Yeah. Okay. Let's go ahead and name that real quick. Make sure I don't paint over the stripes. Okay, so let's go with soft round. How about that? It's like my nervous tick now saying, how about that? So saying, I'm like, let's do that. How about that? Get that calf muscle. Dark Alice is going to have dark calves. She does leg day at the gym. You should see Dark Alice at the gym. She doesn't wipe off her sweat. She doesn't wipe down the doesn't wipe down the bench when she's done. She will watch all the girls. I don't know what's wrong, bad etiquette. She will pee in the shower. What else stuff you don't do at the gym or shouldn't would get you banned at the gym. What would get you banned at the gym? She leaves her kids in daycare and does her shopping. Let's get white. Okay, let's do some kind of like fluffy white, which is not coming across. Oh, this is multiply. So let's do some like, it's supposed to be lace topped, so I'm trying to get like a little bit of lace texture. Let's do where's my 19 brush? There it is. I don't know what to call this other than 19 brush. We're gonna get like a highlight going, so it's a little more fun. This is a good brush to work with in connection with the soft round brush. You kind of do this and get like a really strong, I guess it's not really strong, but you get a strong shape, and then you use the soft round. I could use Webby. That's my favorite brush to say, Webby. My Webby brush. I wub you, Webby brush. Okay. Okay, so there we go. Alice has some legs. And last but not least, we go with the cheeks. Let's go with the... kind of feel like she would be wearing black. Let's see what black looks like. Not Webby. Just soft round, I guess. It's gonna look computer generated. I think black is good. However, that's kind of getting messy. Okay, I think I pressed the wrong button. I think that's why it went messy. Okay. Let's try Webby. Let's see what happens. Show me what you got. Show me what you got. Gets a little... there we go. Yeah, let's do that. Okay. Okay. Okay, okay. This is pulling up everything. So, only one way to deal with that. So let's knock it all off. Knock it off, guys. Knock it off. And now I'm going to teach you how to knock it off. Okay, so we've got it knocked off. I'm going to knock off a lot. Knock it off a lot. Now it's starting to sound dirty. I'm going to knock it off. Everybody, watch me knock it off. Okay, so let's just do the highlight layer, I guess. Oh my god, that's all I can think about. Why did I say that? So that's like white. Well, let's do a little bit more. Ooh, it's looking good. Looking good. Now. Okay. My computer's freaking out a little bit. You're freaking out. It's making me freak out. Okay, so now it's working. We need to get maybe Webby. Do I already have Webby? I do. Yes. I love you, Webby. I love you, Webby. You gotta have Webby. It's not a commission without Webby. Alright, so I'm getting full use out of Webby. And that's the underskirt, under dress, what do you call that? Webby to the rescue. And we're done. Mic drop. Alright guys, this has been To Pop or Not To Pop, and this is the mic drop. Thank you for tuning in to another live stream coloring. This is OkayOkayOkOk, and reminding you to get into the Tales from the Crypt Keeper Kickstarter if you want to. That ends Saturday, which is tomorrow. If you want a physical copy, go grab one. I'll see you next time. Bye.